MarineLorD DnS game number 1 of this best of 3, guys. We start off to the bottom left-hand side with the red Protoss player DnS up against the blue Terran top right MarineLorD. And the guys just want to take a couple of moments here as MarineLorD will throw down a proxy in a moment. I just want to say very quickly thank you for tuning in and all of that good stuff and whatever and what have you. But if you do want to support the stream and help us to run more of these tournaments, this is the WardiTV Christmas Invitational. This is put on by myself. The money comes from me. Also helped out by OSC. You can check those guys out with an exclamation mark OSC in the chat. But it's very important to know that we put these tournaments on because of you guys, the subscribers. So if you want to help support myself and these tournaments as well, every subscription, we take some of that money, we put it into the tournament fund to run more of these in the future. The more subs we have, the more often we run events. That's why we've started to run more events through the latter half of this year as our sub count went up. It's basic math. So if you enjoy the stream, you want to support, you want to see more tournaments like this, consider subscribing. If you've got a Twitch Prime, you can subscribe for free, of course. If you're wondering what the benefits of subscribing for, well, I'll tell you what, our current replay pack, we just released it. 230 replays from the last 10 days of StarCraft 2 featuring Maru, Stats, Zest, Solar, Sue, Dia, TY, Rogue, and many others. A bunch of top European players as well. You'll get all of these replays from today as well, and a future replay pack in the next week or so as well. So if you're interested here at all, that is our replay pack available on Discord for subscribers, just in case it baits you into supporting the stream and so on. Does DnS see the barracks under the tower? No, he doesn't. He doesn't have a probe near that at all, so no scouting for him there. As the first Reaper comes out, and it is a factory to follow this up too, so MarineLorD with a tech lab on the barracks is obviously looking to go straight into the Cyclone as well, and probably a Magfield accelerator upgrade to get this underway. Now DnS has Warp Gate on the way, and he's getting another pylon up in the main base as well, so getting this started. SCV has to pull away from the main as we see that Magfield on the way up in the factory. Just pumping out the Cyclone. There's that Robo. I mean, Robo is a good response to this, right? Obviously, DnS saw the lack of a barracks here, so he knows there's probably something up, and he knows the Reaper had to come from somewhere too, right? So, it's going to be seeing the factory coming forwards with the first Cyclone now. Rax is going to be used for the high ground vision. That's going to be very important. It means the lock-ons can stay stabilized over a long period of time. Even if these units back away up the ramp, for example, he can stay locked on and more likely grab that kill. So looking for that here as we get this going. Cyclone staying locked onto the Stalker there for a few moments. Marine gets taken down, and again, Reaper is also trying to pick up a little bit more damage. Cyclone locks on once more and does pick up the Stalker. There's a couple of Stalkers pushing back. SCV goes down. A couple of Cyclones having to pull back as well at the moment. MarineLorD still pressing forwards here and locks on once again. The Stalker in some trouble once more now. Is going to go down. The other Stalker is also going to get picked off. Wow, and he gives this Cyclone that's super low in the back alive. Immortal doesn't grab any connections either, so MarineLorD's really doing a lot with this. This Cyclone is dead. It is still stuck in the back of the base. As you see the Stalker and the Immortal just going to be there poking on the racks. I mean, extra Cyclones coming through. Remember, Magfield is done, so these Cyclones are deadly. And even if you just lock onto the Immortal right away and pull back, there's a lot of potential there. Locks onto the Immortal now. Look how much damage it does to the shields, by the way. That Cyclone, nice force field. Helps him to keep the Cyclone close enough for 2 shots, getting that kill. Alright, well, DnS is holding on for the moment there as we do see another Cyclone picked off. MarineLorD still trying to build more and more. Back at home, his expansion is now about halfway done. And we do see the Banshee and the Cloak coming up as well for MarineLorD. Still getting this going. And we see the couple of sentries of the Stalker still poking their way through the barracks. And, yeah, good job so far. War Prism on the way up from the robotics facility in the main base. There's again the Stalker, a couple of sentries in the Adept. All coming up to the top side here. Already we find ourselves the Tech Lab being taken down in the factory. Taking a bit of a beating as well. And the Cyclone locking on there and doing quite a lot of damage. Taking the shields off both Immortals, but the factory will go down, so MarineLorD not going to be able to do much with that anymore. Wonder what the Banshees will get up to. Banshee number 1 already out and moving across the map here with Cloak. Going to be finished by the time it arrives in the main base, so good opportunity to get something done there. Thank you very much, by the way, LaserSec, with the $5 donation over on the Matcherino page. Says some SC2 support and flies away. Thank you so much, LaserSec, for the $5 on Matcherino. Can get some love in the chat for that, guys. Again, helping to boost up the prize pool of the tournament, because again, we're trying to make it so that we pay out the top 8 players of the tournament rather than just the top 4. So some love for that, please. As you see, there's Banshee going to fly in. A couple of Stalkers going to be able to push that Banshee away pretty much immediately, though. So Banshee gets pushed back just a little bit. The probe goes down. And moving in towards this natural here. Going to be seeing, again, just a little bit more damage being done. A couple of SCVs going down as Immortals drop into the main. Cyclone's locking onto the Prism there. Mortals have to drop to protect it, but he's still locked on. Wasn't scary enough, and with the Banshee given the vision, that is a kill on the Prism. So now these two Mortals are in some trouble. Tries to target one of them down, but doesn't actually get any kills. So just the Prism stops that aggression at least. MarineLorD holding on, but DnS looking pretty good in the supplies at the moment. 42 to 35 workers, 29 to 11 army. Looking very good so far. Again, a Banshee just sat up to the top side. Two of these together will obviously try and get a bit more done. MarineLorD's starting to stabilize back at home, but he's still got a long way to go to be truly set up into this bio style. Stim only just starts. Means he's 2 minutes away from realistically being very kind of viable at all with the bio units. Third command center on the way up, and we're going to be seeing a couple of Marines jumping into the bunker there. As you do see the Banshees coming in, picking off a probe with a hallucination, just continue to come through and push those Banshees away. Who won the Bly Hellraiser match? Bly won that one 2-0. As we are now in this 6 best of 3 today, guys. Our current plan is to cast this series, then cast MarineLorD versus Hellraiser, and then we're going to do the Ziggy matches at the end. But again, we'll kind of see how long these matches take, because again, I can only stream for about another hour and 15 minutes. So it really will just depend on how many matches we can get done in that time, more so than making a pre-plan of just how much we're going to cast. As series repairing up this Banshee, Raynor asks Slowly Fallen. Raynor will be playing in Group D of this event slowly. That'll be on Tuesday, 7 p.m. CET. That's like midday, 1 p.m. East Coast Canada. I don't know what part of Canada you're in. I can't remember. You're in Toronto, right? It's East Coast, isn't it? I think it's like 1 p.m. for you. So you can make your own notification for that one. Yeah, EST, 1 p.m. for you. Raven, gonna get the Observer kill there. Cyclone going to be taking the tower at the top as we do see a Prism coming through. A couple of Zealots already charging in. MarineLorD responds pretty quickly, gets units in the bunker to keep them safe. I mean, for now, SCVs just have to run towards that and keep it safe and alive. Some of these Zealots will jump up towards the main base now. 2 Banshees into the main. Oh my god, there's nothing in position to deal with this. Stalkers have just left. The Observer was already here. Stalkers leaving means this is going to be some real damage for MarineLorD, as he does throw down the Interference Matrix. So actually the Warp Prism cannot currently get out of Warp-In mode, which means it just has to sit underneath the Auto Turret. The Raven has just soloed the Warp Prism. Interference Matrix, Auto Turret combo. Love it. What a cool play. How often? I don't think I've ever seen a Warp Prism killed in that way in my life. Ever. That's so sick. High Templars continue to warp in with some extra Zealots as well, morphing them straight into Archons, those High Templar. Now MarineLorD going to come pushing up through the top side here. Has a bit of I mean, he has turned this into a worker lead overall. Workers killed 10 to 15. I'm impressed because I didn't feel like MarineLorD was being that successful with the early aggression, but now it's looking kind of good for him as these bio units come marching through the top side. Cyclone going to be arriving on that watchtower, taking that for a moment here. Here we go with DnS starting to press forwards. Takes down the little robot critter pretty swiftly. Cyclone gets taken down as well. Couple wooden mines here going to go off. Blows up a Zealot, but nice micro. Anti-armor missile is going to hit onto those few Archons there. They actually look really cool. Oh my god, those Archons look absolutely sick with anti-armor missile on them. I mean, they look cool anyways. That's so cool. I want Archons that glow orange all the time. Apart from the fact that if you actually have to fight with them, they're kind of weak at the moment. Well, they pop back into normal blue Archons. Well, here we go. MarineLorD has A decent amount of units here. Kiting backwards very nicely. Needs to stay away from the Zealots. If you kite away from the Zealots, you also stop the Archons from getting damage done. Suddenly all the Zealots are dead. So you're able to come in, and now the Archons die pretty quick as well. Archon's trying to run into range here. The Immortal's sitting in the back. Wouldn't mind somehow putting us underneath the army, but the Prism gets taken down, and DNS's army is just going to be completely shut down here. Kills 13 SCVs, but losing all of them units, it's going to make it a very difficult recovery for DNS. He needs to be able to hold on against a counterattack, and that's going to be a real challenge. Can a Raven take out a Mothership's cloaking field with Interference Matrix? Yeah, it does, right? Maybe? If you hit the Mothership with an Interference Matrix, I would imagine that it does. It literally just stops the unit doing anything, like... I would think so, but I don't know. It's actually a really cool question. Zealots here continue to be under fire. As you see the sentry going down, another force field. Well, you're going to have to use that force field in his favor. The Zealots going through that choke point now, as MarineLorD is so good at StarCraft after just returning a couple of months ago. He's just cruising his way through DNS here in game number 1, and MarineLorD picks up that win. Nicely done. This off. I mean, right now, MarineLorD is up at... You guys are talking about Hero Marine or MarineLorD. Like, I think Hero Marine overall is better because he has results, right? But if you look at the ladder right now, I guess Hero Marine's right at the top of the ladder. But, I mean, it's only 3... I say only. It's not a massive difference between them. Hero Marine's TvT has always been very weak, and the TvT I've seen from MarineLorD's been pretty cool. Yeah, Hero Marine's like 6'9", MarineLorD's like 6'7". Obviously, there's a difference there, but... Hero Marine just edging him out. Arga with the fresh new subscription. Thank you so much. I'm going to get you up on the tree after this game as well, so thank you for that. Appreciate it. As we kick off into game 2 of this, we have to the top right hand side our red Protoss player, DNS. And to the top left here on Stasis, our blue Terran opening double gas and hiding that Rax. It's MarineLorD. Thank you so much, Arga. Do appreciate it, dude. Again, guys, if you're enjoying the stream, those subs help us to keep on putting out the games for you guys in the future. Much love on anyone supporting today. Pushing towards... How many are we on subs? We must be close to 600, like 14 away? Oh, we're 16 away. We gained a sub and we dropped 2, so there you go. The life of Twitch. Just as you start getting close to something, you suddenly start dropping away from it. Trying to think of something cool we could do if we had 600 subs today, but I can't actually think of anything. I think it's a bit too late to come up with something as well, so next time maybe. The electric bill for the tree. Well, I mean, there's only got one set of lights on it, so it's not like the tree costs that much, right? It's not like we're overloading it with lights. Although at this point I don't know if it's actually worth keeping the lights on, because I mean, it's just so covered in decorations anyways. Tell you what, for some reason one of the decorations is wobbling, and I'm kind of worried as to why. Why is it moving on its own? Ay. Throw down the tree at 600? No, I'm not going to destroy the tree on purpose. Stargate coming up in the main base of DNS here is, at the end of the day, obviously it's a bit of a later expansion from MarineLorD, but he's not going to be overly aggressive. He does expand nice and fast. The Cyclone's just going to build up on this side of the map. Would expect this to be with Macfield, but not going up. Can we Patreon the tree? What, you want a Patreon to support the cost of the tree? Ay. Stalker just sat on this natural expansion, as we do see the Reaper just chilling out over on the right side as well. Chronobus coming up on the Phoenix. As you do see, going to go and join him with the other Phoenix out in the center of the map. So, a couple of Phoenix going to join up together. Starport from MarineLorD gets going as well. And there's that Magfield Accelerator just ticking along right now. Nice and easily with the Reaper coming around the bottom side of the map. Obviously wants to try and figure out where it's just what's going on, trying to check for any proxies or anything. Again, that Phoenix camp building up. They're so good against the Cyclones. Not really much of a surprise there. I should get a pellet gun and let people donate for me to shoot the tree. You guys are really horrible. Can I just say that? You guys are really horrible to my tree. Like, can you just let my tree chill a little bit and survive and just be okay? Poor tree just wants to be a Christmas tree, and you guys are like, "Wah. Well, if you do this, this, and this, you could destroy it, Wardy." And I'm like, well, I don't want to destroy it. You guys do. We could knock the tree down. I'm like, no, we're just going to decorate. And you're like, okay, in that case, we're going to over-decorate it. So try. I'm pretty sure half these subs in the chat right now are actually only subscribers because they wanted to try and destroy this Christmas tree. I'm pretty sure it's not about the StarCraft content. Pretty sure it's all about the trying to kill this tree. You guys just do not like it. I don't know why. Good Christmas tree. Hurting his feelings, I'm telling you. 3 Cyclones with a few SCVs pulled in. Nothing too crazy. Marines coming in as well. This is quite a powerful attack from MarineLorD. And the Sergeant's already taking a little bit of damage. Phoenix takes a shot as well. JSOL 44 comes in with the sub-bomb. Thank you so much. Let's get to that in a moment because this fight's coming in. Phoenix coming through, lifting up that Cyclone, which is being repaired during the lift-up, though. And that's actually kind of nice because the Cyclone will survive to deal more damage. The Marine count, though, starting to really drop down. And as we do see now, Cyclones not being repaired as quickly. The Phoenix with Stalker help are going to be able to clean this up. And that, my friends, is a defense. A couple of SCVs get dropped over here, but they're going to be stranded between these sets of rocks. Liberator does show up, though, and is going to be able to pick up a few of those probes and force some lost mine time before the Phoenix come in and clean that up. Thank you so much, JSOL44, even though I'm pretty sure you just trying to kill the tree, for gifting out 5 subs. Very, very kind of you. If you hear your name right now, you just got caught in JSOL44's sub-gift. Jago Trock, Mr. Doran, Kavinsky, Mokoroy, and Chubbs. Lol. What's up, Chubbs? Thank you so much for the gifted subs, JSOL. Appreciate it. These poor SCVs left to never be saved unless a medevac comes and saves them, but that's kind of dangerous with the Phoenix nearby, right? It's very dangerous with the Phoenix nearby. Flagging a MarineLorD comes to the left. Couple Widow Mines. I love these Widow Mines. That could be really cool. Build missile turrets between the rocks. Actually, would not be... I would say it wouldn't be too terrible if only the units couldn't kill them from the low ground. Those Widow Mines down on the natural. Again, a few Marines setting up here as well. Medevac going to get picked off by these few Phoenix. Or at least take some damage. Again, that's the danger of these Phoenix at the moment. It's just not letting anything come across the map to drop. If you want to drop right now, you have to take the longest path ever all the way down, and then you go all the way along. And this is kind of a long map in that respect, when you can't drop natural to natural. But Stimpack and +1/+1 upgrades come up here from MarineLorD. We're going to be seeing a couple of extra barracks coming down as well. Colossus coming through from DnS, so he's getting in towards his real mid-game tech choice here as well. Here on Stasis, nice, beautifully large map. As we get this set up now. Da 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 da. Again, these Phoenix trying to pick something up at the moment, but still not being all too successful with that, if I'm going to be completely frank. Not too successful. I'm digging around because I'm trying to look for the tops of some of the other decorations that have disappeared somewhere, so I can actually get all of these people up on the tree. Apologies, guys. I know, I'm a terrible streamer, just distracted by Christmas decorations all of the time. We've been following these Phoenix for ages. That is actually true. 4th Command Center on the way up here. A couple of Liberators coming down. With the Fusion Core, so already with a second starport, he's looking for that advanced ballistics. MarineLorD here complaining about his scouts. DnS picking those off finally with those couple of Phoenix. So getting those SCVs down have just been left there for a little while. I mean, they were sort of inevitably going to be dying off, so I don't think MarineLorD will be truly too upset. It's back in. Ooh, there go the Widow Mines. Picks up one Phoenix kill, and he'll get both the Widow Mines from that. Oh, though, loses the second Phoenix from just sticking around a little bit too long. He needs to be a little bit careful on situations like that, doesn't he? 4 bases from both players here. Honestly, when Stasis starts to get up into even more bases, it does start to become very difficult to actually... it becomes very difficult to actually kill your opponent, really. It's a map where sitting back and defending can actually go a very long way and be very successful for you. So I'm feeling pretty good right now for both players. See what this can turn into, but obviously with the Liberators coming up, there has to be a response to that. And the Fleet Beacon is on the way, so we do see already. I mean, especially, okay, so with Mass Libs coming up, but also a Fleet Beacon, meaning that there's going to be an answer to the Mass Libs, this really could turn into quite a back and forth one. Towards the Zealots, another unit's coming into the center of the map. +2 attack, +2 armor on the way, and +1 ship weapons on the way up as well. First Tempest on the way out of this main base, as we do see DnS going to be getting ready to press forwards here. Liberators and a Viking set up just over to the left. The Marine in the center of the map gets taken down. Liberators sieging up. Unable to do much at the moment, though. Scanning the centers. Obviously, MarineLorD has to keep repositioning. That's the thing, though, with the Liberators. How are you ever going to attack as DnS? You need those Tempests to come on through here, realistically. And, well, he's getting them up. And it's obviously giving DnS more, MarineLorD more time as well. Vikings are on the way. Ghost Academy is on the way. DnS is not currently able to find a way to move forwards with this. And so instead, he will just back off, giving MarineLorD this forward 5th gold base. I wonder how long... I mean, okay, so here's the interesting thing, though, because this is not going to be an easy position to hold on to now that you've got the... This is not going to be an easy position to hold on to now that we've got the gold minerals kind of exposed to Tempest, right? Like, these mineral patches are exposed. Have to be careful about that as the bio takes down a Zealot running to the center, but the rest of the army shows up pretty quick, and those units don't really last very long at all, do they? A matter of seconds, really. Not a pretty end for a few of those bio units. +2 ship weapons on the way out of this armory. And we still see DnS pulling back over to the right a little bit. Couple more Tempests on the way up as well. Tempest and DnS gathering up together. And this group of units going to be coming through the top side here, factory. And we get pushed back a little bit, so DnS is going to try again. I wonder how MarineLorD will hold this effectively. Maybe Liberators holding this position, but then of course they're vulnerable perhaps to the Tempest as well. Maybe just needs a few more Vikings to realistically push this back with comfort, although actually I guess there's not much that can fight against the Vikings very easily, so it's kind of working out for the moment. Since tower goes down, Liberator's shot hits onto that Immortal on the bottom side. Hallucination trying to see what's up. Oh, the ghosts! One of them goes down to a Disruptor that's been mixed in here by DnS. DnS adds on another robo of his own, also takes the center of the map, taking this gold base. 13 minutes in, and both of these guys are hitting into very late game kind of setup of army compositions. Talking about Ghosts and Vikings against Colossus, Tempests, and Disruptors. No Storm from DnS though, but would imagine that's something he might have to just bring into play sooner rather than later. I mean, Storm is quite important. And he obviously works very well against the... Oh, you just have Storm. Sorry, apologies. I just missed those high tempo. You know what I did? I pressed a button, and I thought I went open the upgrade tab, so I thought this was the upgrade tab. I just didn't figure out that it wasn't. So I was like, yeah, he's not got Storm. He's got Blink. And I was like, huh, that's funny, King. Didn't realize he had Blink. Yeah, sorry guys, just get my tabs mixed up because it didn't switch. He does have Storm, obviously, so I'm using those now. That's very important, obviously. Needs these Storms to help push back the air units. So he obviously goes a long way, as we do see MarineLorD still kind of keeping the high ground, but that base struggling to truly mine. MarineLorD not eager to take a fight at all, though. Gets 5 more Liberators on the way up. Getting those going here in a few moments. Ghost going to cloak up here. We do not see... Oh, we do see a nuke upgraded. Okay, I'm pretty much going to stop saying things before I double check, because everything I say right now is just wrong. We do see a nuke, so obviously a nuke can have some pretty big connections here and can start to really make life difficult for DnS, who has to then look around the map and figure out where that nuke is coming in from. Going to set up a Liberator here as well and just try and be a bit of a nuisance. That nuke getting set to go, and here we go. Just going to drop it right on top of this liberation zone. This Liberator going to unsiege and go elsewhere. Pros are pulled in already, and he will just move it away. That poor Phoenix, just forgotten about, unloved, uncared for. Nuke goes down. First nuke of the game, guys, at the 15-minute marker. And we have units moving through into the center of the map. Vikings and Libs going to come forwards here and sieging up. The Vikings going to get rid of a couple Tempests very quickly, actually. That +2 ship weapon starting to show itself right there. Nice snipe on a High Templar there as well. We don't see snipes against HTs anymore because of the range difference on feedback versus snipe, but that was quite a nice one. Also, just because snipe nowadays is obviously a channeled spell, it often doesn't get a chance to really go down. That was a nice usage of the ability. Getting a bit of this army pulling back around to the right. We see the Dark Templar marching its way into the middle. Doesn't want to really reveal itself though. And manages not to for the moment. Just wants to get across the map and start to cause some chaos, steal some damage. Revelation doesn't really hit on much at all, as we'll see a Marauder getting picked off. Revelation drops on down, hitting a whole bunch of those Libs. And the Bio getting caught up in this as well, as a couple of SCVs in some trouble. That DT coming straight into the natural boom. Talking about snipes, there's another usage of it. Snipe coming down, cleaning up that Dark Templar. Now a couple of Libs sieging in the center. And you see a Marine getting taken down. A Liberator picked off pretty easily here so far. And again, just going to be seeing MarineLorD ready to keep on pushing through the middle of the map. Perhaps there's another Dark Templar taken down. And those Liberators are just insane. Continue to poke those Stalkers backwards. Look at them go with +2 ship weapons as well. They just deal an insane amount of damage. It's insane. 85 hits. Damage a hit. 14 range. Oh, big EMPs hits a lot of the army. Is that something MarineLorD can capitalize on, though? He's still very against taking a straight-up fight, but he will press forwards with this, using those Liberators to get further in. That one High Templar is actually going to go down to the Liberator shots. Tempest, again, they're starting to clean out those numbers as a Disruptor looking for the Ghosts. MarineLorD pulls back pretty quickly against that here, and Command Center, for some reason, flying very far forwards, as he is going to... Maybe he was thinking about taking this bottom side base. He needs to take this base first, though. I mean, that's the only base on his side of the map he hasn't taken, so may as well get that up and running. We're going to have to start talking about efficiency here very soon. Resources lost is in favor of DnS, and over time, unless MarineLorD can fight over this one contested base, that's going to really favor DnS. If neither player manages to mine off this central bottom base, it will mean that DnS will put himself into a much stronger position. Because obviously he's been trained a lot better, so having mined out in a mined out situation, DnS wins. So that base actually might become quite important for MarineLorD, even if he just takes it for a little while and mules it out a little bit. It could go a long way. It is 6 bases each though now, as MarineLorD gets this one set up in the bottom left. Maybe 7 if he gets this one up as well. 18 minutes in game, and well, one thing I have to point out as well is DNS's bank is just crazy. He is working with more probes, so he has more income over time and a smaller army every time these guys are fighting, but because it's not straight up fights, it doesn't seem to matter that much from DnS, because it's just little pickoffs and bits and pieces like that. It doesn't seem to matter at all. 131 to 125 armies at the moment. MarineLorD just struggling to max back out, but DnS with 7k, 3k in the bank, and now begin to press forwards, as we'll see him getting rid of a couple of these SCVs. But Rhea's still dealing some damage, starting to siege up once again to push a couple of those Stalkers back. Another Colossus laser or two going down here. Scan dropping to the bottom side. Yeah, at this point, it's been mentioned in the chat, but you're right, you probably could just pull probes away. Stop those from really... and you don't really need 72 workers when you've already got 8k, 3k, right? You definitely start mining a bit less. But at the same time, I don't know if he needs that much more army. Right? Like, his army already is working well with what it's doing. And it's very difficult for MarineLorD to force a straight up fight anyways. How is MarineLorD so broke? Probably because he is mining off of only 55 workers. If you look at the income tab, DnS has just been mining more over time, and he's been trading better. That's why MarineLorD is so broke in comparison to our Protoss player here. Nice EMPs again. A couple of Tempers going down. Those Vikings are good with the air upgrades. They absolutely destroy those Tempers. It's crazy. Liberator sieging up once again. It's just going to be seeing a Stalker. Doesn't even last a second. Trying to take a planetary force on the south side, but it's something that DnS now knows about, so you'll know to maybe focus attention towards that. Again, obviously, does not want MarineLorD to be able to take advantage of a whole extra base than what he's going to be able to access. And it is maybe one of the cooler things of Stasis that unfortunately you have to go 20 minutes in game to see a lot of the time. The fact that it can cause this kind of competition about bases on the bottom. It gets killed off here, though. As you do see, the DTs and the Zealots that killed it get taken down now, but still nice to see DnS very quick to respond to that, and that base not going to be influential for now. DnS has lost the last few moments, though, and he's now only 2,000 resources ahead in resources lost. So doing a pretty good job of MarineLorD taking some better fights here, and that's another good fight, right? If you can get some shots onto those Tempest, the Stalkers blink up to try and fight it. And this is all about these two massive armies in the middle of the map that are just positioned and jostling with each other, trying to find the fight to put each other into the lead. Vikings trying to press forwards again. It's to the bottom side. We're going to see these Marauders able to get rid of a couple of these DTs. Liberator taking some more shots here, sieging up out in the center. We do see EMPs potentially coming down, hitting all of those Stalkers. Vikings a little bit unsure what they want to do there for a moment, it felt like. Get some more shots off onto the Colossus, and the Colossus will just back away. Liberators sieging again. There's 4 more Tempests on the way out. 4 Liberators coming out with 5 more Ghosts too. Disruptor pushes in, doesn't really do enough though just yet. Tempests are all starting to go down. Again, MarineLorD feels though he's been trading pretty well, and it's still about a 2,000 to 3,000 resources lost difference, so hasn't really changed up much. 5 more Tempests in production. These Liberators just going down from a distance. Oh, Disruptor shot will find a Ghost underneath the Liberators. Moving towards the Stalkers. Actually feel like there's an opportunity here. Disruptors will push the bio back to protect the Stalkers for the most part, and able to pick up a whole bunch of libs because of it. Good play by DnS, using his army effectively, and I'm afraid for MarineLorD again. DnS is able to trade so well with this smaller army that it's just keeping MarineLorD from ever really being able to build up a bank, and it's keeping MarineLorD from ever really being able to, well, be comfortable, maxed out. When has MarineLorD ever had a chance to just bank up any resources here? Never, because DnS is like, okay, well, let's trade, because if I lose units, my bank is ready to go. I've got no reason to sit back for too long. Zealots and the DT going to get hit by a couple of liberation shots as they run in here, but intercepted by Bio pretty swiftly. And they will all go down. Just that one that maybe gets away for a moment, but even that wasn't too much of an issue. Meanwhile, MarineLorD is back on the bottom side. Has to keep those Ghosts away from those Disruptors. This is another issue, because DnS has been the one always applying pressure. This gold base has been very difficult for MarineLorD to mine from. I mean, you look at this now, you know, hundreds and thousands of resources left on this base. DnS took his gold base after MarineLorD did, and he's almost mined it out. And that is just a big difference. He's only got 1,400 gas there versus 3,000. And that's just, again, MarineLorD's been kept off of that base so well by DnS. He also now takes the 7th base, and that could mean we're starting to slowly see the end of MarineLorD here, because I think if that 7th base comes up, he just can't trade efficiently enough to, you know, do anything about it. And eventually he'll just get drained out. Now, of course, if you can deny that, maybe it's a bit different, but currently DnS is already long-distance mining from it. Liberator sieges up again, kicks off another High Templar. 14 gateways, 5 Stargates in play here from DnS. Versus 3 starports. And 8 racks. Production from MarineLorD isn't that crazy, but I guess he hasn't been able to afford extra production. It's finally getting a bit of a bank right now as we do see some good EMPs again, just he can never capitalize beyond the EMPs. He's never able to continue taking that fight. Move to the bottom side here, the bio. Able to pick that Nexus up. MarineLorD still finally pushing kind of DnS back a little bit. It's been a long time since MarineLorD was this far forward. This time the Vikings will land to deal with the Zards here. A couple of them do get through for the moment though. About to hit the 25-minute mark. The Stalkers will be blinking forwards. Trying to catch a Marauder there. Scan comes down. Another scan dropping down as well. And we'll try and see what's up. There's a couple of Zealots coming in. Zealot to the top side, fighting that refinery as well. Alpha gets picked off. Stalkers blinking forwards. Liberator sieging up quite nicely here at the moment. Disruptor coming in as well. Nexus on the bottom side. Getting ready to go. Extra Stalkers warping in too. And this is just a very late game PvT. It's not been too crazy either because it has just been for the going for the bigger fights. Finally we see Storms and Disruptor shots. We haven't seen those for what seems like an eternity. Vikings will take the hits and just come forward. What a big fight all of a sudden out of nowhere. These guys both decide that they're happy with the position and they both go at each other. Supplies dropping to 140 apiece. The biggest fight we've seen in the game so far. As we see both players losing a lot. Resources lost will even up to 33,000 each now. The issue is MarineLorD just does not have enough of his resources mined to remax fast enough at the moment, and that is a big issue. That is actually a huge issue for him. Trying to drop down these mules here. Okay, DnS won't deny them for the moment. A scan comes down. Templars still have Storm. Couple Tempests in the skies. 4 of those Tempests rebuilding almost instantly. How there isn't 10,000 gateways to remake 10,000 units is just dumb. I mean, you don't need 10,000 gateways though. I mean, with the way that DnS is playing, to invest into that many gates, he just doesn't need to rebuild gateway units that fast. I mean, he just dropped down to 140 supply, and he's still maxed out less than a minute later. He just doesn't need more than 14 gates, because it's not about replacing masses of gateway units. It's about rebuilding the Tempest, and by the time you start around a Tempest and warp in 14 units, he's pretty okay anyways. I think like the gateways would just be a bit of a waste of money as DnS's bottom side base is in position. MarineLorD realizing this might sort of have to get a bit more aggressive onto this. It's really important for him to try and deny this base right now. As you see, these Liberators getting some good damage done from a distance. DnS moving up towards the high ground. The one thing I'll say for MarineLorD is that I don't feel he's put any pressure like down over here, you know, up here as well. I know it's obviously been a weird game and so on. He's been very focused on Liberator and Viking production. What if he just built a few extra medevacs and started to drop that bottom side? Because we really never saw anything on the bottom side. We never saw any harassment of DnS's bases. You know? I know it's difficult. I know it's difficult to even fly across here, for example, but I know he hasn't had tons of bio units either, but I think there's been enough to go and drop some units around and to force DnS to respond around the map. Still pressing forwards. He's going to be seeing the Nexus going to drop down. Zards running in towards the natural as we do see DnS going to come forwards and Liberators will hold this position. So DnS loses this base. Resources lost is 38.4k each or thereabouts. It's going to increase a little bit for MarineLorD as he loses a couple of Tempests here to a couple of Liberators to those Tempests. Vikings shooting down a Tempest right away. No Disruptor doesn't connect on anything just yet. Single Zealot running around as the Marines and Marauders able to pick off another Zealot or two. And again, this entire army of DnS just hanging around on the bottom. Dark Templar going down. DnS is being kept away by those libs. The fight taking its position on the bottom side because MarineLorD wants that base. Zealots running by here once again as again these are the moments where the Vikings do very well going for the Tempest, but Stalkers blinking forwards. MarineLorD with the mule drop to just repair up those Vikings. DnS starting to really mine now, but obviously he still has money in the bank. Plenty of money in the bank. He's dropping down. MarineLorD gets this base, but the Zealots and the DT being annoying up at the top. One wheel's coming down for all these repairs. The Tempers have looped their way around. Now DnS is going to maybe take this into kind of a top versus bottom battle. Obviously it's dangerous for MarineLorD because bases like this one are just completely exposed in this situation. Man, those Zealots just keep on shutting down reinforcements, and I think MarineLorD's starting to bleed out just a little bit here now. Tempest still doing their job, picking off Liberator after Liberator. Zelda's going to be able to pick off this Marauder now, so Marauder going down. On the bottom side, this army of MarineLorD still just fighting away. Assimilator taking a couple of shots of damage. Lift goes down. Tempest Fire is good, and I feel like MarineLorD's about to lose this base. I think like he might have to just, I mean, try and defend it, but how do you try and defend it? He's already lost his Liberators. Without the Liberators, he can't really hold anything on the ground. It's just a bit too much, so DnS is making progress on the bottom side of this. And he is going to keep on moving now back up in towards the center. He lost some of his production here, didn't he, DnS? He lost his starports. One of them on the reactor as well. That's why he's not rebuilding as much. I mean, he's also MarineLorD starved for gas, but Structure Shock comes in. The Vikings just sort of sit here for a moment, getting their shots onto the Tempest. The Storm pushes them back in the end, though. 21 SCVs died in recent moments. Now we're on a 21 versus 636 worker game, as DnS has gotten rid of some of his workers. Means his army supply is up to 163. A huge army for him here. DT into the natural, DT into the third. Marines and Marauders pushing through the bottom side. Stalkers and Disruptors coming in as well. Vikings stormed. And MarineLorD doesn't even take the final fight. He knows he can't win it. GG DnS. So we're probably going to just do MarineLorD after that long game. We're probably just going to finish this series. And then if we have time, we will do MarineLorD Hellraiser. If we don't have time, unfortunately, we'll just have to call it there. But I think we might have time for MarineLorD Hellraiser. Should be okay. Top right-hand side, we have ourselves the Red Protoss player DnS up against the Blue Terran to the bottom left, O Gaming's MarineLorD. MarineLorD going to be opening up with the proxied barracks. Obviously went for this back in game number 1 and ended up going in towards the proxied factory as well. So just to see what he turns this into. Are you not even streaming 24/7, Wardy? I know. What could I possibly need to go do that's more important than StarCraft 2? Real life stuff. Imagine having a social life one time this week. Crazy, isn't it? One day this week I'm going to have a social life. I am back though, guys, in 19 and a half hours with the for the 2018 has left the game Korean server playoffs. That's coming up in 19 and a half hours, so Saturday at 1 PM CET. Sunday we've got the European server playoffs for that tournament as well. And Monday we're back into the WardiTV Christmas Invitational. Wardy, no passion confirmed. Yeah, no passion at all. Zero passion. Some actually call me the passionless. MarineLorD obviously wants to speed up this series a bit after game number 2 was so lengthy. It was kind of ridiculous actually. Game 2, 31 minutes. Longest game I've cast in a little while. Fun though. Don't get me wrong, very fun game. For a little while it was a little bit kind of back and forth, not much happening, but those larger fights are fun to see now and again. Wardy, what did you get your mum for Christmas? I mean, why does it matter? I don't want to say it in case she's watching. So my dad watches my stream a lot. And my dad usually has it on speaker, so if my mum's like in the same room, then, you know, wouldn't want to say, you know. Yeah, mom might be listening. Shh. That's why I'm saying I'm just having a social life tonight. Not that I'm going out and, you know, ordering a, you know, getting playing some blackjack and ordering in some hookers, you know. Shh. Don't tell her. Well, Stalker's poking there. Medevac about to pop up as well. As you do see the lock on, pushing that Zilla back. My dad's into SE2, that's cool. My dad watches SE2 because I play it, because it's my stream. He's not really into SE2. I have done my Christmas shopping, actually. I've got all my Christmas stuff sorted out already. I just genuinely don't want to say it. Tank coming in as a follow-up to this. He has turned this into a real good old one base all in, isn't he? Really committed. The tank siege is up from a distance. Cyclone locking on. Well, DnS falls back towards the shield battery here as the Void Ray is out as a response. Second Void Ray on the way up. Locks onto the Void Ray there for a moment. Good for your SCVs, Marines, and a Reaper. I feel like this has some real potential with units pressing forwards right now. Adept is taking a little bit of damage and just going to be seeing Marines continue to fight this. So shield battery. Going to get taken down. Depths want to shade on top of this. Here we go. The Depths shade in, but they are in the Liberation Zone still, which is quite painful. Voids prismatically aligned are going to come in. They are going to get the Liberator. Bunker goes up, though, and that's going to be huge. The Adepts go down with a bunker up and the tank still alive. This is painful as we see the SCVs continue to repair, and Viking on the way out as well to help against the Void Rays here. Void looks as though it wants to go and try and cut off other units, but it's going to get intercepted by the Viking. Void Ray going down. That's unfortunate for DnS. I don't think he was expecting a Viking to be made of all things. It was a nice idea trying to cut off the other units, but obviously just didn't quite work out. As you see that tank sieging up, Marines and a Reaper pushing up the ramp. And, well, I mean, for now, just kill the Nexus and eventually you'll make your way through here. MarineLorD lost a supply depot to this probe. Holy shit, this probe was just left killing the depot and he actually got the kill. Depot gets killed by a probe. Not every day you see that, guys. From full health to nothing. That's kind of fantastic, I'm not going to lie. I love it. Tank pressing up towards the main base now, of course. Another tank coming over. Is going to try and get sieged up as well. Void Ray gets taken down by the Viking on the right-hand side. And a slow push with the tanks and the bunkers. Kind of just forcing DnS to decide what he's going to do about this, but I don't know if there's any good decision for him at the moment. He is in a lot of trouble. And has already got a lot done from MarineLorD. He got rid of the early tech units. Here we go. Has to go sooner rather than later. Tank target fires down the Stalkers. No friendly fire onto the Marines as the Adept shade in. And as the Vikings land as well, the Marines will just keep pushing in and shut this down more or less. Tank siege is up. Again, 2 more Stalkers coming up, and, well, Probe's going to get pulled into this now as well. Tank will want to target fire the Stalkers again. The Marines actually turn to fight those Stalkers too, so a lot of damage done. Look at the Stalkers disappearing. The health pool's just dropping. And, well, a Reaper grenade. Just because right now, I don't even know why he has a Reaper. Was it just from the first unit of the game? He still had it alive? That's crazy. Alright, well, MarineLorD will take this series down 2-1 in his second series that we see of him today. 2-0 Bly, 2-1 DnS here. And now we'll be seeing him against Hellraiser, as we'll be getting that set up in just a few moments.